Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Dan United, joined by Kev United as always. Hope everyone had a fantastic New Year's. I've just seen back the short that we recorded. Had no recollection of that, so apologies for that. But we've got some stuff to talk about tonight. We have got, obviously, the game against Leeds. We'll go through that and the implications and the ramifications that follows. We've also got some transfer news. We've also got the press conference. A very, very, very despondent, that's me talking, that is. I bloody muted that. A very despondent Rúben Amorim, it must be said. Whether or not, as Kev has just said off air, it's a red herring, well, we'll have to find out. But first, as always, welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone's fantastic. How you doing, Kev?
I'm not bad at all. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. It's Friday, one day back at work, so not too bad.
It feels like a Monday. Like I genuinely, I was saying to people today, I'll see you tomorrow, and they were saying, I ain't coming in on Saturday. I was like, of course it's not. Of course it's not. Got over the Wolves game yet, mate?
Well, we chatted about that. There's the time of year where being on your own is very, very sad. So I was more sad about that than Wolves drawing with us. Like I said in your emergency after, I would have actually just rather they won. And my brother could have had a better Christmas and New Year. And my brother and my nephews. But my nephew did send me, I never actually told you this, and I'll just show you this quickly, right? My nephew, my oldest nephew, Luca, he texted me and he said, this is his new favourite picture ever. Hold on.
I dread to think. Oh, Christ, man.
Thanks for that, Luca. I just sent a big laughing emojis back to him. His new favourite picture ever. My misery, and you just go, no.
Well, look, that was last year. That was 2025. We are in 2026 now, and it was last year, mate. We don't. It's a tough one. Look. We're playing a Leeds team that's come off the back of a very, very good result away at Anfield. We'll go through the press conference in a second because there were things that were said and his tone today was not one that I was expecting. I've been so used to this guy coming out, not with, I've called him arrogant in the past, but with a sense of, no, this is what we're doing. Everything's fine. And today was the first time I watched it and I thought, is everything fine? Is there trouble in paradise? Now, there is reports on Belabor, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But the thing I wanted to go through is the first thing off the bat that he said was that it doesn't look like any players are back for the game against Leeds. Now, we're away there. It's a derby. It's a derby. Derby. Is this a worry, Kev? I mean, I'm going to say something before I come to you on that. It shouldn't be a worry because we can set the team up in a different way. And I just wonder, I wonder if this manager is going to look at this and go, I got to change things up against Leeds, because the boos at Old Trafford were deafening. The boos at Old Trafford were the loudest I've heard for a while. And I don't think he expected this. I think he's always been in that sweet spot with the United fans of, he'll turn, what's the song? Rúben Amorim, bring the glory days. Yeah. We've had that for a year now and it hasn't got any better. So, against Leeds, I've got to say, he's got to do something that we thought he would do against Wolves, and that's bring back the back four. He said himself that they play with a lot of pace. He worries about that. He said that they are quite free-flowing. So, Kev, I suppose the question I ask you, and I ask the chat, and I'll come to you all in a second, don't worry, is does Rúben Amorim revert back to the back four in this game, or is he going to continue this arrogance and stick with the back three?
You know what? I've got no idea what he's going to do. I'm so lost with it. But broader picture, the league again is just bonkers. What a bonkers league we're having. Spurs Brentford 0-0, Liverpool Leeds 0-0. Such crazy results. You're just not expecting them. We should have beaten Wolves. That shouldn't have been a one. It's so unpredictable, more than ever. So unpredictable. So. Unpredictably predictable. We'll probably go and beat Leeds 4-0 or something stupid like that. So, but I've got no idea. Who knows why he didn't play a back four? I don't know why he didn't play a back four against Wolves. Was he trying to match them up or something? I don't know.
He tried to say that, didn't he?
Maybe he's gonna revert because he knows how, because that was awful. I didn't hear the boos at the end. Guess why? I wasn't effing watching at the end. I turned it off because I was done with it. So I didn't hear the boos. But if you've said there was boos, then I'm sure there was boos. Wasn't there boos at half time as well? So horrifically bad game, horrifically bad, lackluster, no energy, no focus, no drive forward, missing a significant amount of our players, good players that would have played. So I'm not giving that as an excuse anyway. The team that we put out should have beaten the bottom team that only had 2 points.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, and look, I don't want to dwell too much on it because it was the other day, but I will say the reason I think he went back to that back three is because I think after the win against Newcastle, I thought he could turn around. It was Wolves. They by all accounts, they're bottom of the table for a reason. They've had some spirited performances, but ultimately they've lost 11 games in a row.
They'll still go down. They're going down. They're not going down.
Of course they will. But I think he genuinely looked at it and went, well, I'll beat these with this formation. So I'll be able to say, well, look, hang on. You wanted the back four, but look what the back three did tonight. And it absolutely went flat on its face. Let me just go through some comments quickly. Good to see you. He says, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. That's a nice glass of red there. I can't even stomach looking at alcohol at the moment. Chappie says, hello, everyone. Happy New Year. And may all your dreams come true. Well, they have come true because you beautiful people are here tonight. That was soft, wasn't it? Dan, good to see you, mate. He says, good evening. Hope everyone had a good New Year's Eve. Yeah. El Vino did flow that night. Andy, good to see you, mate. Yeah, exactly. Good to see you, buddy. Anthony says, oi, oi, Savaloy. Dan says, if we lose to Leeds, then surely he loses his job. We'll put something on about that in a bit. I have put a poll in the chat, guys, so have a vote. Do you think he'll go back to the back four against Leeds? Anthony says, Leeds doing well. They're a tough team to beat. That's an Office reference right there. Leeds are doing well. Don't even bloody like football. If only, the things are going to be different this year. Yeah, bloody hell. That reminds me of my mum and dad all those years ago. But I'm going to change. This year will be better. Never was. Carl says, evening all. Good to see you, Carl. Andy says, Amorim will not change his ways. He has to go. Agrees. If he plays the back three, we will lose, says Carl. I think we'll struggle against Leeds, says Chappie. Because he thought he was going to work and prove him right to play it all this time. I agree with that. But he said you can attack more with less players, so maybe he puts Ugarte in the 9. Look, I was furious the other night, as you could all see. I mean, I watched it back and I was like this watching back. Because I don't want to be one of those YouTubers that comes on for the views to bang the frigging. I don't want to do that. But sometimes this manager pushes me to a place where I don't like, where I don't want to be. And unfortunately against Wolves, it was that. Now, today in the press conference, I've got to say it, chat. If any of you have watched it, make sure you go and do it. And good to see you, Blowy. Hope you are well, mate. Hope you are well. Because he looked beaten. He looked tired. He looked anxious. He looked fed up. He looked like he didn't want to be there. And I just kind of wonder, like I said before, the fans booing like they did at full time, the backlash he has faced since, which has been far more than other backlashes he has faced when we lost to Everton, when we drew against Forest and Spurs, when we lost to Brentford. I felt that that was the day the fans started to turn. And I think he feels that now. I think he feels that. And today, some of the questions, so to put it into perspective, we do not have any other players back against Leeds. He said it. He said it today that they're all going to still be out. He doesn't want to risk them long term. He also said that the implications of this is that the midfield are short, and we know that. We've seen that. He also was asked about, and this is a silly question. Derbies. What do you think of a derby? And it's like that. He played Liverpool at Anfield. Like, we don't need to ask the guy about that. I thought it was ridiculous. But the bit for me that really got me sort of hot under the collar was when he was asked about the transfer window. And I wonder if this is why he looks so fed up. Because, again, Office reference, Dawn, I'm fed up. He said, the transfer window is not going to change. We have no conversations in this moment about having any change in the squad. There is a process. There is an idea that is going to continue. We are near the Champions League places, but we're also to 18th behind. So let us focus on the next game. Just that. Our focus is to win the next game. When he was asked about player exits, he said, no, none have asked. I don't expect them to come to me and ask anything. The broader context on this, guys, is simple. We need transfers. We need this squad building. We need more. regardless of the fact that, by some miracle, we may have the likes of Brian back, the likes of Diallo back, the likes of Mazraoui back, if their teams don't go further and further and further into the competition. But the simple, cold, hard fact of the matter is, this is ridiculous. And I feel like, and Kev, I'll come to you on this, and Moxie, good to see you, my man. I'll come to you in a second, also to you, Mark. I wonder with this, Kev, if the ownership have gone, do we want to be backing this manager if we're going to have more results like the Wolves team? Do we want to be backing a manager who seems to just be hell-bent on sticking to this formation? And there's context to this. There is, because they brought him in to play this formation. They brought him in because they believed he could change the way things are. But remember the other night, and I'll put it back up for everyone to see, because I think it's something that we should definitely look at, and that's this. This is the Premier League table for 2025, and we are 13th. We've won 12 games out of 36, so we've won a third of the games. Now, not to have that arrogance of a big club mentality, but we're Manchester United. We shouldn't be over a year be below fucking Everton, Fulham, Brentford, Palace. We shouldn't, we should not be below these teams. So the question I'll ask, Kev, long way around here is, are the owners saying, I don't think so, I don't think we should be backing you, or is this, as you said, a red herring?
Well, I know we're not Chelsea, but we've just seen what's happened at Chelsea. We're getting very similar to a lot of the other clubs in the league, which is we get rid of managers a lot quicker than we used to. But we never used to have to get rid of managers. But in the recent past, managers have come and gone very quickly. I think he would have gone already. So no, I think they'll back him. I think it's managing expectations potentially on transfers and what's to come. And just in case nothing happens, then we never told you anything was going to happen. But when it does,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, we go to the news that dropped tonight. And look, I've been saying, I love it when I get to do this. I have been saying this for the last 2, 3, 4 months since the last transfer window about Baleba. There has been conversations between Manchester United and Brighton. And look, we know that Brighton have already come back and said, no, we're not doing anything here. We're not, the summer is when we'll probably look at letting him go. But again, I have said to you all, that going on international duty for this long, mid-season, does crazy things to players, and crazy things happen. And we have seen so many times where clubs have said they ain't going anywhere. A couple of weeks later, they're at the club. I look at it, and I tell you something, I would keep an eye on this Baleba one. And I know that I've just sat here and said, are they saying they're not backing him? But again, as Kev quite rightly said, things happen. Whoa, look at this. It's such breaking news, Fabrizio Romano, all of Ben Jacobs, all that lot. I just wonder if the feelers have been put out officially. Baleba and his agent will be going, hang on a second, this could happen. We could do something here. I wonder if this happens this month. And you know something? It's football. Anything can happen. I'm not going to sit here and bet my life on it, but I think there could be a chance. I think there could be more conversations. Now, there are other reports coming out that Kobbie Mainoo has now officially said, I'm getting my head down. I want to play for United, which is fantastic news. I wonder if that was a little nudge from what his brother had done. And I think he saw the backlash and went, no, I need to prove to this, to the fans here that I do want to stay and play. Whether he'll play is another situation in it entirely. That's a great bit of news. The one worrying bit of news that I saw was that Toby Collier, we all know, has come back off his loan from West Brom due to an injury. He's going to be training at the club. The worst case scenario, and I put this worse than signing Conor Gallagher, is that Manchester United at the end of the window sign nobody and say, well, we've got Toby Collier back, so we don't need to go and buy someone. We don't need to. We can last until the summer. So there's so many variations here with respect to where Manchester United go. But Kev, the Baleba news, does it excite you, or do you sit there and go, it's paper talk?
No, look, you don't play. He's not just become crap all of a sudden. That just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Well, very, very rarely. His head's obviously gone at Brighton. The potential for the amount of money he could earn at Man United is a massive difference. He probably thought he was coming to United, and it didn't happen. He's not been like the worst player in the league or anything like that. He's just not lived up to what he did last season. So it's probably likely at the moment that if we did get him and he did come, he probably wouldn't start, which would be crazy, but he probably wouldn't start. He'd probably need to prove himself at the club. I just think we've got to go and get somebody. We've got to go and get somebody this transfer window. We have to. I mean, it's crying out for it. We really, really do. Especially with the injuries to the guys that are injured as well. We have to go and do it. We'd be mad not to.
It's not just that though, Kev, is it? It's also the ramifications of the end of the season. Casemiro will go on a free transfer. Yeah. So whereas we're saying we need these two midfielders, well, we don't. We need more. We need more because Casemiro is a different type of midfielder to what we currently have. You know, you've got Kobe Mainoo and Bruno, who you would deem as the people that are progressive, that kickstart play. That's their job. Ugarte, yeah, he had a decent game against Newcastle, back to his normal ways against Wolves. He is not the future of Manchester United. So you would fully expect he would probably go in the summer. So straight away, you're down two midfielders. Straight away, without even thinking about it. So
I mean, our transfer policy has changed for the good, and I'm pleased the way it's changed in terms of the type of character, the type of player that we want to be at Man United. Somebody that wants to be there, somebody that wants to come, somebody that's got a future, somebody that's got a sell-on value, and I like all of this idea of the new. We never used to be like that. We just used to go and get the superstars, whether they fit into the team or not,
and at the wrong age, as well,
and at the wrong age as well. So maybe that makes us more restricted in what we're able to get in this January period, but. It's a full month. It's a full month. You know, a lot can go on in a month, and we could come out next week and they go, well, actually, we've been doing this, and this, and these are the players. So, I just think it's January the 2nd. Let's just wait and see what happens and what we're going to go on. Things change so quickly in football, and I think potentially it might be a bit of a red herring or just managing of expectations of the fans at the moment, so that if we do get someone, they can go, look, there you go. See, we were doing this the whole time in the background.
You've been media trained, you have. We'll finish the vote on the back four against Leeds. 64% of you said no. He won't go for a back four. I will put this in because I think it's a good one for the chat. Do you think Baleba is a possibility? Can't even spell possibility. I always say it has been a long day today. In Jan. Simple yes and no. Let's go. Let's go through some more of these comments. Mark says, I'm 49. I've seen the bad and the good. I just want to be able to enjoy watching my beloved Manchester United again.
Me too. Me too, Mark.
Smash a like.
Older than me, finally.
Smash a like for Mark. Smash a like. That's a great comment. Bring back. Sorry, hashtag. I just had a bloody Chinese. It's repeating. Bring Carrick back, says Wahaha. Blowy says, I'd rather Zidane or Maresca. Not going to lie. We'll talk about Maresca in the bit. It's a good point. Queen Sophie in the house. Good evening, people. Smash and lights up. Happy New Year. Hope you're well. She says about Maresca too. Carl says, what has Maresca proven to deserve the job? And Sophie says, more than Amorim. Well, yeah, cup competitions, I suppose you'd say you're right. Like what though? You two are having a conversation. You two are going at each other already. So as long as Amorim isn't sacked, he's better than Maresca. Well, no, I'm definitely not saying that. Chelsea have been just as inconsistent as us this season with a bigger and better squad. Yeah, I disagree with that though, Carl. I feel for Maresca because Maresca, I was talking to the Chelsea boys about this. Maresca reminds me of a factory shift manager. Every time he turns up on shift to show his, to get his team in and say, this is what we're going to do today, a bunch of agency workers arrive. He doesn't have a frigging clue they are. And I think he was dealt a bad hand at Chelsea. They were just buying all these kids and trying to force them down. So I disagree. I don't think Maresca's the reason for Chelsea's failings. Collier would be like a new signing. That's how they'd spin it. Does Kobe know something, says Andy? Maybe. What cups? Oh, no, you're still going on with that one, Carl, with Queen Sophie. Amorim would have done a lot more with the Chelsea squad, in my opinion, says Carl. I disagree with that. Their defence is ruined. I mean, you've got the two wing backs. You've got Reece James and Cucurella, but I don't think he would have. I genuinely don't think he'd have done much better. And I think we need at least 2 signings in January, then carry on the improvement in the summer. Well, look, at the moment there's positivity in the chat because 67% of you at the moment think that it is a possibility with Baleba. Now, look, here's the other thing. So sacking season is well and truly underway. It wasn't a shock for me that Maresca went, but does this now fire a rocket up Rúben's arse, essentially, Kev? Does he look at that and go, well, Jesus Christ, if he can go, I can go? Or is it a case of, is he still pushing that narrative of the board back me? They've said to me, they give me time. They know what the squad's like. I don't need to worry.
Yeah, I think it'll be like that. Absolutely, it will be like that. You see, if he was to go, I mean, are we ever going to find a manager that's got it to come and manage Man United? Are we ever going to find that person?
They're out there, though, Kev, and I think the problem, like I've been quite I've said this, and I'll keep saying it. I would bring Ollie back in the interim. I bring the feel good back. United need that feel good. I bring him back. The crowd adore him. That's what you need. He would be that manager, I think, with the way he was the first time he come round. I do think he galvanised because I think he'd get those lads. He'd say, right, boys, come on. This is what, you can do this. You absolutely can do this. He would change that formation, which absolutely needs happening. I think, look, the biggest tell for me, if we don't sign anyone in the summer, I think they're thinking beyond Amorim. At the end of the season, he'll only have 1 year left on his contract. I think they will be thinking beyond. If they bring people in January, well, then I think they're backing the manager because they're only going to bring players in for this formation for him. They're not going to go out there and bring a winger in, do you know what I mean? Or a out-and-out right back. Then they're not going to do that. So I think if he gets backed, he will. If he gets backed, he will stay, and he will stay for a while. If he doesn't, then I think it's curtains for him, mate.
Yeah, it could be. A long one. It's going to be a long one. It's a long month. We're at the second. Nothing's happened. Nobody's moved yet, have they at all? So it's all talk at the moment. No one's moved for any club. So it's still dead early. I can't see. I think it would be. I would be very disappointed if we don't get somebody in the transfer window, and I don't mean Conor Gallagher either. I would be very disappointed, and again a little bit confused as to why we're not jumping on some of the players that we can, or trying anyway. There needs to be something in the press to say that we're having a bash at something. I know they like to keep cards close to the chest and everything in terms of players that they're going for, prices, etc. But we need a little bit of something after. Again, I mean, it's such a funny thing. We're still in 6th in the league. But I mean, it's been so inconsistent. Again, we've had some good results, some terrible results, some awful results, some average results. But so apart from sort of Arsenal and City, so I mean the City as well, but I mean apart from Arsenal, all the other teams have as well. It's just been so topsy-turvy, this league has.
Yeah, no, I agree. I absolutely agree. Even games we looked decent, we only looked decent in one half. We've got to be able to do it in both halves. Good evening, Ben. Good to see you. Ben's still saying back in brigade, which is you're right, mate. Absolutely, you're right. I look at teams we've played at Old Trafford this season and not got points against, and I think, nah, not for me anymore. Moxie says, Kobe and Baleba as a midfield 2 and commit to a 4-2-3-1, Bruno back at the 10. That would be beautiful. It would be glorious. But you know something? We don't... This is the thing that irritates me about him. We could technically not sign anyone this January. The lads come back, the injuries come back. If he just switched it to this 4-2-3-1, because for me, surely he must see there are more players available to him now in that formation than the formation he's constantly trying to push. And look, it goes back to the old, as you say, Kev, if my grandmother had balls, she'd be my granddad. It's that old saying. He could, if he'd have done 4-2-3-1 against Wolves at home, I'm willing to bet that we'd have turned him over. I am. I'm willing to bet because you wouldn't have a Joshua Zirkzee playing out of position. You wouldn't have Casemiro and Ugarte trying to be that 2, trying to hold the flood of players. You wouldn't have Dorgu, who, by the way, had won Player of the Week in right wing, playing at left wing back. You just wouldn't have it. So I just kind of feel like the 4-2-3-1, he could quite easily play a Kobe there, play a Casemiro there, push Bruno up to that 10, and he would have more creativity, but he's not going to do it. And, you know, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I just worry that Rúben Amorim is living so far by that sword that it will be the death of him at Manchester United. And look, we love it when a manager comes in and says, this is what I'm doing. If you don't like it, off you go. But this isn't a formation problem that's been happening in the last 2 or 3 months. This has happened consistently since November 2024. And I can say it like that now because we are in 2026. There is a long, long process of this happening. The table, I bring it back up, Kev. This season, we've had a few wins. If we hadn't have had those wins, it would have looked, we wouldn't have been in the top 15. So he needs to really, really have a look at what he deems as the future for Manchester United. Because again, I'll say it again, it is not a failure, Rúben, if you go to this 4-2-3-1. It is you admitting that I don't have what I need right now.
Yeah, and he's already admitted that as well.
Exactly. And the worst thing he could have done was come out and bait the media, come out and bait the fans, come out and bait, you know, the pundits. Because all he's done now, he's made a rod for his own back with it. So, United E1S, good to see you, my man. He says, let me just find that comment. We need to sack Amorim if he doesn't win against Leeds, because here is a question about emotions. That's a derby. If he doesn't beat Leeds, I'll say this, and I'll come back to the rest of the comments, guys. Don't worry. If he doesn't beat Leeds, there's only so many opportunities Manchester United are going to have to stay in that top 6 through luck. By luck, we've managed to stick in that bloody gap there of being Champions League contenders, however you want to put it. 4th place could have been ours if we beat Wolves. With the results that have happened, we'd have been 4th right now. And you know something? The conversations look different then, Kev.
Yeah.
The conversations do look different. And yes, you know, some rival fans are going off at us saying, oh, you only drew. Yet we gave Wolves their first point in 11 games. Like, that, you can't do that. Doesn't happen. For a club the size of United, that doesn't happen. I think if
Wolves would have played brilliant and we'd have played brilliant. It was a great match and it was a great draw. I'd have gone, well, there you go, it's a draw. But it wasn't. We were just so bad. We were so bad.
Yeah.
And Wolves just played average, slightly better than they're playing. You know, there's a bit of improvement from the match we played in when we beat them 4-1. But we should have been out of sight in that game.
No, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Zidane ain't coming here. Zidane would come nowhere near Manchester United. And you know something? I'll say this now live on stream. I wouldn't want Zidane at United. He hasn't managed for like 4 years, 5 years. Like, I wouldn't want him. I absolutely wouldn't want him. Sophie says, I actually think Maresca could handle the United job. Seems to have a bit about him. I think Maresca's waiting for the City job. That was one of the reasons apparently it went to shit at Chelsea, was because he turned around and said, yeah, I am waiting for that City job. So I don't think we even mention Maresca ain't coming to United. Chappie says, Amorim is a one-trick pony, one tactic, unable to adapt to game situations. Dallo hasn't even been bad at right back last few games, but yeah, definitely one of the positions that needs upgrading. I thought Dallo was one of the only ones that you could sort of give any credit to the other night. I thought he was trying everything to get us going. It just wasn't to be. I think if he loses against Leeds and plays like we did against Wolves, he's gone. Mark says if he sets the team up in a way that gets maximum output from every player, we can shoot up the table. It's not rocket science. And I agree. And look, yeah, again, we're 6th. So shooting up that table, you're not going to shoot up any further. But I think the performance has changed. I think teams struggle against us more. Casemiro and Ugarte were getting in each other's way. They can't play together. And Doherty was just skipping past them anytime he liked. And Wahaha, I'm glad. Do you know something? We normally have a bit of back and forth on here. But the comment about people getting in each other's way against Wolves, Kev, how many times did we say, there's 2 people in the same position here. Yeah. There's no movement. Yeah. People were picking the ball up, and it was like, where the fuck do I go from here? Mm-hmm. I've got no one. So it's not a shame when you lose a game. A shame is when you don't show passion in the game. And Steve-O, good to see you. He says, hi guys, Amorim's too cautious for me, not a risk taker. United are better on the front foot, not the back. How Amorim plays is not the United way. I'm looking forward to the Water Roses game. To be honest, the atmosphere will be lit. It will. We'll go through our predictions about that in a minute. And this Wolves game wasn't an unusual performance for us. It's happened over and over again. Yeah, I agree with that. United says, and you realise we actually don't win against clubs from relegation places. Wolves away was a lucky game, that's all. And Moxie says, Leeds at the moment isn't an easy game for anyone. So why should we expect a United win? We need a much improved performance from whatever lineup starts against Ellen Road. Dan says it's frustrating. We are continuing to have the same conversation. If we had won or not dropped points, we would be in the top 4 until Rúben actually decides to change. Then this isn't changing. And Dan, I agree with that. And I'll come back to this in a second, Moxie. I do agree with that. Like, his substitutions have done him over throughout the season. You know, he took off Xerxes. Everyone thought he was injured, but it wasn't. It was because he wasn't playing good enough. And apparently you can win more. You can win with less attackers on the field. Yeah, okay, whatever. I've got to be honest with you. Let me end this poll. Do you think Belabor is a possibility? And Jan, 77% said yes. This is when we talk about fine margins, chat and Kev. This is where we talk about fine margins, and I'll come to you, Kev, with this. We beat Wolves. We beat Leeds. We beat Burnley. Then you've got the FA Cup game, Brighton. You've got City and Arsenal. Amorim, I feel, has credit in the bank by then. If he loses against City and Arsenal, you go, well, do you know what? They're the top 2 clubs in the country at the moment. So you can see why. You can see why they're further ahead in their journey than we are. A lot of them are. But let's flip it, Kev. Draw against Wolves, away against the Leeds side that haven't lost in 6. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's doing very well. It was a very good performance against Liverpool. Then you're away at Burnley. Does this credit in the bank stick for Manchester City and Arsenal? Or does he even make it to there if he doesn't pick the points up? Because
I think he's making it. I'd be surprised to see him get sacked. I would still be surprised to see him get sacked. I think it would need to be loss after. I think it would need to be maybe 2 or 3 losses in a row for him to get sacked. And like I said at the start, when we were talking about at the start of the stream, I think it's more likely that after that Wolves performance, we go away to Leeds that have been playing really well. They have a really bad game. We play well and we win. We come away with a result from there. That's how this season's gone. Not just for our club as well. For lots of clubs where you go, well, they're going to get beat this week. They're going to get beat this week. And then they don't. They turn around a result. So
well, let's share this a second, right? Let me share this.
That's what I think.
Because it's interesting you said that. And I'm glad you said what you said, actually, mate, because these are, let me just zoom out a second so you can see the final one. These are the fixtures in January. If that isn't a job-defining, season-defining month, I don't know what is. Because, let's face it, 2 away games now, we ain't great away from home. We ain't. I think...
Kickoff times.
The kickoff times are bizarre, aren't they? Absolutely bizarre. I think, and Ben says even if he lost against Leeds, Burnley, City and Arsenal, you won't go anywhere. I disagree with that, Ben. I disagree with that. I think he needs to pick up a minimum of 6 points from those 4 games. I think if he picks up anything less, in fact, no, I'll go further on that. I think he could get away with 5 points and the win in the FA Cup. I think if he gets 6 points and goes out the cup, I think there could be serious questions there because let's not also forget this. The FA Cup is a route into Europe. The ownership know that we cannot miss out on Europe. And again, we have been very fortunate that other clubs around us who are pushing for that top 4 have been inconsistent. But mark my words, chat, that's only going to go on for so long. It's January now. Newcastle will strengthen. It wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool go out there and strengthen. I think he is at this point in time do or die this month because out of the cup, 6 points. I think you're gone. In fact, no. I think you have to. If he only gets 3 points and we're at the FA Cup, there's no question he will be gone. I think he will be gone.
Well, that looking at those that run of fixtures, that there is potential there for disaster. There is potential there for disaster. So maybe, yeah, again, we just have to wait and see. Just going to have to take, as they say in football, and he's been saying, just going to have to take each game as it comes. Take each game as it comes. And we'll be up or we'll be down, depending on what happens in the game before, and trying to justify and trying to make sense of it as we have been all through this season so far. It's just been crazy. Yeah. So, yeah, my prediction is, and it's just a prediction, it's just my prediction, if you don't like it, we will probably go away and beat Leeds now after that horrifically bad performance, and Leeds playing so well, doing it so well against Liverpool in their previous matches. They'll have a shocker, and we'll play well, and we'll come away with a win. Maybe a squeaky win, a dirty win, a nasty win, but we'll come away with a win.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's exclude the FA Cup.
There's potential in that run. There's potential in that run for us to not be with a manager by the end of it.
Let's exclude the FA Cup, right? And we'll go. Let me put these in. Let me put these in a second. Hang on. Right. Exclude the FA Cup. How many points out of these fixtures, chat? The vote's in there. 3, 5 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 12. How many points? Kev, put your vote in there as well. How many points do you see coming out of this run of fixtures?
Okay, I've got mine.
Have you gone? You've gone 5 to 7, haven't you?
Yeah.
5 to 7. This tells me everything that I need to know about where we are. Like Manchester United fans, we are not confident. There is no. There's not a single one for 11 or 12. Like,
we've got no evidence to help us be confident. But I keep one. Yeah, it's our club. We're talking about our club. We're talking about Man United. But there's so many teams that are so inconsistent this season. I bet all the fans of all the clubs are going, I've got no idea what we're going to do this week.
Kev,
I've got no idea. But I know it's our club we're talking about.
But the difference is those clubs will go out there and find solutions. Like at the moment, we're fucking Bon Jovi. We're living on a prayer, hoping that we will go out there and get some players in. At the moment, you got to remember, we're praying here that we get Ahmad back, Brian back. We're praying we get Mazraoui back. It ain't happening. The table. Let me just bring it up a second. Let me bring it up. Let me bring up the tableau. That table, let me get rid of the top 4, right? I'll go to 5th. There are 7 points separating 15th and 5th. Now, as I said, Spurs will go out and buy someone because they've just sold Brennan Johnson. They've got money. Newcastle will go and do it.
Oh, yeah, Brennan.
Palace potentially will go and do it. Chelsea probably will go and do it. Newcastle will go and do it. These are teams that we need to be trying to pull away from, and we are no closer to pulling away from these teams. Imagine if we'd have beat West Ham. Imagine if we'd have beat Wolves. That's 4 extra points. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's. I think he is at this point in time. I think he is about to hit his most important time as a Manchester United manager. And Rúben, you have been so good at coming out and having the arrogance of telling us that this project and you'll never change. And then when you've changed it slightly, you've laughed in people's faces, which he did. He did. But my brother, I got to tell you something. If you don't get, and I'm going to tell you, I think we get 3 points out of that. I think we get 3 points. Because I think Leeds at the weekend away, we are playing them at the absolute worst time. Yes, they played on Thursday. We had a couple days more to rest. But hang on a second. That's been the case the whole season. We've had more time than most clubs to rest because we've not been in Europe. So I won't abide by that. I think on Sunday, the best we hope for is a draw away because we're shit away. Burnley, you have to beat Burnley away. There's no excuses. This is Scott Parker's Burnley. You have to beat them. City at home, You'd like to think that the fans will carry us through, but let's be honest, and this isn't a dig at the fans couldn't carry us through against Wolves because the formation was shit. And then you have Arsenal away. Okay, take away Brighton a second. Bring Brighton into it. You have literally, this is like the start of a Rocky montage. He's either going to go and knock him out in the 11th round, or this man will be like Rocky 3, round 2, knocked out, crying about Mick in the back room. Okay? Now, people are obviously saying that, oh, well, you know, Sir Jim loves him. And I've seen a couple of comments saying Sir Jim loves him, blah, blah, blah. If we are looking like we have got no entrance into Europe, if we're at the FA Cup, if teams around us start winning and pulling away from us, now let's not forget that can happen like this. It was only 5 weeks ago, we were saying we're 4 points off second here. That soon changed. Now they are super ahead of us. This can happen so quickly. If all of this happens, Sir Jim might see him as a son. He might love him like a brother. But money talks, okay? And us not being in Europe would be catastrophic. It would be catastrophic.
We need Europe.
Look, I may be a negative Nelly here. I think we get 3 points at the moment. And I say that because, do you know something? I've watched this team. I've seen this story. Inconsistency at its best. Let's go through some more of these comments quickly. To be honest, guys, forget the FA Cup. League is more important for us. United is not for Europa League. We are born for Champions League. We are United. Yeah, but you say that, but we need European football, United. And I don't back it.
Slaughtered in the Champions League.
Oh,
slaughtered.
Exactly that.
Every week.
Exactly that. Our away record isn't bad, but really grasping at straws. Is it, or are you just remembering the bloody Liverpool results? Moxie says 5-7, either 2 wins and a draw or 2 draws and a win for me. We're Bon Jovi. We are Bon Jovi. That's what I'm changing this now. We're Bon Jovi. We're after 2 to 3 play. You are, absolutely. Newcastle will go and sign players.
And take that, Dan. We're living on a prayer, and every night, all we do each night is pray.
All we do each night is pray. I have no interest in watching Ratcliffe or Amorim speak. I see what I want or don't want. On the pitch, it's horrible. Maybe they have no short-term goals, but how long will Jim love Rúben? How long will I love you? If he bottles Europe, correct. I think we will struggle with Burnley without players back, says Z. Good to see you, mate. We find it difficult despite the result, to be honest. No, I still think players come, Soph, in your climb, I do. Sorry, you haven't arrived late, mate. Don't worry, Steve-O. No players back. It's going to be the same squad. It's and as Mark says, Amorim's a head fuck. He absolutely is. Look, I know it's negative, and 62% of you think 5-7. Ben put a comment in before. Ben, if you're still here, where is it? Here we go. So Ben put, so Jim loves him and knows it's a long-term project. This season was written off before it even started. Anything comes of it European-wise is a bonus. Now, I disagree with the anything comes of it Europe-wise is a bonus. I think that they're playing their Lady Gaga poker face with that. What I want to ask you is this. I put Mancy there.
See you later, Moxie. Moxie's away.
See you later, Moxie. Take care, mate. Have a good weekend. How many players do we need, right, for this formation to work?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, we'll ask the question. We'll ask the question because I think it needs to be asked to work. I will put the options 2, 4, 6.
I think 6.
8. I'll put a plus on there. Put a plus on there.
6, I reckon.
Right, put your comments in there. Put your votes in there. Put your votes in there. How many players do we need for this formation to work? I'm talking squad, Ben. Talking squad. We need a dramatic drop-off, says Moxie. Maybe something like no winning 4 and knocked out the FA Cup, maybe. Over 60 games for Amorim. Do players know how to play Amorim's way? In fact, are we still watching games with a wing and a prayer? Absolutely. Do you know something? That's a great comment, Steve. We've had him for 60 games. If the players haven't got used to it now, they're not going to get used to it, are they? They're not going to get used to it. Let's have a look at what the votes are saying. 62% at the moment are saying 6. I think you need 8. I genuinely think you need 8 points. 8 players, sorry. I don't think this is a. I don't think. I don't think you can change it with 6 or 4. I think if anything has been proven to us this month with the injuries and with the players gone at AFCON, I think it shows how paper thin we are. I've considered what Ben said that Amorim was told this season will not matter. Yeah, look, but this is football, Anthony. Things change. United will not want to go through another season of being around 10th, 11th. I can guarantee that. And that is a distinct possibility. I'm abstaining from the vote, says Wahaha. I thought you meant first 11, Defo 8. Ben says 8. Okay, perfect. So do you see us getting 8 guys? Like, there's no chance.
I don't see us getting 4.
I don't see us getting 4 either. 9, our best players are Casemiro, Shaw, Delo, etc. And they're our best players bearing the forwards. Even with 8 players in, would the football be drastically better to watch? It's a good question mark. We need more players. Otherwise, we'll still play poor performance players without backups. Look, it is, and I know I've sworn a couple of times, but I'm going to swear again.
Go on.
It is fucking simple, Rúben. Okay? It is simple. Change the formation to the back 4. Okay, do the back 4, 4-2-3-1. Protect your defence with those 2 CDMs. Allow then that free-flowing footballer to, like Acuna, to be in the 10, and more importantly, to not be able to hurt us if he loses the ball. Cunha is hurting us so much because when he loses the ball, you've got Dalot and you've got Dorgu so far up the field. You're then left with a Casemiro who's trying to run up there, and a Gato who's disjointed, and we are getting hit every time. We're getting hit. Simple as that. So change it to the 4-2-3-1. I don't care what anyone says. The players we have at this squad, even with the lads that are away and are injured, are better for the 4-2-3-1. They are better. Sesko had chance after chance after chance, okay? He couldn't put it away because he had no one there with him. He had Dorgu as his only man.
Everyone's been saying, it's pointless having Sesko because we don't put the ball in the box. I think we were trying to put the ball in the box against Wolves a bit more than... I think we try and get the ball in the box. Maybe not as much. Just trying to play through the lines, play through the middle, play into the 18-yard box. I think we were putting a few crosses in. I think we have been. I think we played more to him and his height. He's just not had enough games for us. I'm sorry. I know he's been in and out. He's been in and out of the team. There's no consistency in Sesko's play for us at the moment. When he did get a bit of consistency, tiny bit, scored 2 in 2. So I've got no issues with Sesko at all. He looks really good for me. He's 22. I know he looks 32, but he's 22. And I think there's still plenty to come from him. There's talk of Acuna Matata.
Yeah, Acuna Matata. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. I literally think United are only going in for midfielders and kids this January. Ben, I'm intrigued. I am intrigued, mate. What would it take for you to? Honest question now. What would it take to make you go? Do you know something? This ain't working. I've got to be honest, and this isn't me baiting you, mate. Again, because you have christened the backing brigade, and who knows after Sunday if we go away to Leeds and by some miracle play them off the park and win 4-0, and then go beat Burnley and then go win the FA Cup, then some of us might say it again. But what would it take? I'm intrigued. What would it take for you to say, do you know something? Dan United, this ain't working, mate. This ain't working. So I'd be intrigued just to see what you would think about that. Please try Dorgu on the right. I'd love to see Dorgu back on the right. Not for his attacking presence, mainly because he wouldn't be anywhere near the fucking defence. He is a liability. Wolves, bottom with 3 points, Wolves, played it so well out the back in stages against us. On the right-hand side, we could do it. But on the left side, every time we come to Dorgu, you were like, oh. It wasn't working.
Even me and you, if Amorim got sacked and they gave us a rang and said, Dan and Kev, going to just jump in for the one game against Wolves, we'd have played exactly the same team we'd played against Newcastle in exactly the same formation that we played and we won the match. So, I mean, again, Granny and all the rest of it, but crazy. It's just crazy.
Does Cunha remind you of anyone when he loses the ball? It absolutely does. Cunha, do you know something? Cunha really fucked me off.
Yeah, that was his worst. That was his. Pretty much everyone's agreed with that. Even his backers have agreed with that. That wasn't a good match. That was.
I think, and his attitude coming off the pitch, I thought was woeful. The way he was.
I've seen that as well. But that's there's a bit of passion in that as well. There is a bit of passion in that as well. I don't have massive negative things to say about that, but that it wasn't great. It's not great to look at, but yeah, okay.
Chappie says there's so much wrong with this once great club. It runs deeper than managers and players. There's elements of that. Ineos have done a lot of things right, but at the moment, I think they're doing a fair few things wrong. Sophie says we had Rich on the loaded from Palace Channel. I love Rich. What a big up, Rich. What a great guy. And he says Mateta could leave as they're looking for a striker. The problem with Mateta is I think if he comes to United, he's going to think, ooh, moolah. And he's done it for a season and a half with Palace. People forget that. He's done it for a season and a half. At the start of the season, I looked at it and I was like, do you know something? But I don't think he's looked fantastic this season. And the fact that Palace are like, yeah, we'll look for another striker, I think says everything. United says Liverpool nearly lost a game against Leeds. I hope we can beat our rivals if we can call that United-Leeds rivalry. It's an old one, and it's a proper old one. Some proper big-eyed clashes back in day. Maybe Cunha wouldn't have been so bad if he preserved some energy instead of throwing tantrums. I love that comment, by the way. If we pick Mateta, then that can show how stupid we are. We're buying attackers. Our defence is horrible. I don't put it on the defence. I think we've got players missing, and I think we forget we're playing such young lads.
We need to sort the midfield. As we've been saying for months, we need to sort the midfield out. The midfield needs to get... It's not just for now. It's the players that we're going to lose.
Yeah.
Players that are not going to be there, and players that are coming to the end of their peak. We need to start replacing them now, so that when the players that we bring in are going to hit the ground running, when those players are the players that are playing now are no longer available.
Yeah, and that's what we don't want. That's exactly what we don't want. Andy says, question, lads, Amorim in or out? Kev, I'll let you answer this one.
I'm from in at the moment still. I'm still from him. I was waning. I was on the very edge. But yeah, I'm still in. He still brings me round.
I'm not lagging. I'm just genuinely shocked.
Ask me again after the Leeds match.
I'm genuinely shocked at that. Kev, I love you, but I'm genuinely shocked at that. I mean, like, oh, wow.
I'm very changeable at the moment.
Fuck.
I was very stoic about it at the beginning of the season, but I'm more changeable now.
Fucking hell. Oh, my days. Oh, Ben.
Past this season. Well, he might be right, though. He might be right. You know what? Currently, being a Man United fan and what comes out of Man United is like having a wife. You know, we get told what we want to hear. The rest we've got to work out for ourselves and come up with the answer. That's what it's like.
I just nearly thrown up in my mouth there.
None of us have got the answers. None of us.
Wow, Ben.
Move on.
Wow. Oh, it's coming.
Move on. Just move on.
It's coming. Free pass this season or next season and next season. Ben, we're Manchester United.
Yeah, I don't think it works.
We can't do that.
You know what? We love Ben's optimism. I don't think it works. I don't think it matters who it is. It just doesn't work like that. If the results are rubbish, then the managers get sacked. That's just the way it is in the Premier League now. It is just the way it is. If the results are rubbish, they get sacked because they look like a laughing stock otherwise. They look like a laughing stock, and we're already getting laughed at in various spaces. So I just don't think it works like that. It'd be nice if it did. And a lot of people are still saying we can't just keep changing the manager. We can't just keep changing. And I'm sort of on that page as well a little bit. But I'm sort of turning it over to, well, what's on the next page? Let me see who's available on the next page before I fully stay on this page. Because it hasn't been what we need.
I'm just checking. Am I being punked with this fucking comment? Ben! I
don't think he'll get a free pass for 2 seasons.
Do you know what, Ben? The difference is, though, not what you want to hear, but it's realistic. You say we're Man United, but let's be honest, since Fergie retired, United have been shit. They have, but I tell you what United have seemed to have done most seasons is won trophies. We've still won trophies, and under this manager at the moment, I can't see it. I can't. Oh, fucking hell, man! Ben, honestly, Ben, you must be the most calmest person in the world. You literally, I reckon you're the type of guy that if you're stuck on a plane for 12 hours and the person next to you lets off a silent fart, you don't say anything. I reckon you're that nice and calm, because bloody hell, mate. See if 1 year from now he plays a stinker like he did versus Wolves, Ben will still be saying he needs 6 more players. Your job is now stand by our new manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, 2013. We didn't realise how painful that would be. Do you remember those words? He did. He said that, didn't he? Your job is now to stand by our new manager. Fucking hell, we've done that enough time. We've done that more times than fucking Tammy Wynette, haven't we? Stand by your man. Where is the trophy from last year? Exactly. He shit the bed against that. Sitting on a stinky plate is better than being at work. Love that, Ben. Love that. I want him to work. And you know, Anthony, I'm with you. He reminds me of that mate that tries to shag your missus, and you love him because he's hilarious, he's funny, but you're angry at him, right? But you still want to like him because he's still funny and he's still, he makes you laugh and he's a good guy. This is the same with Rúben Amorim. Like, even deep down, even throughout all the anger, I still want it to work for him. But he needs to show me something else than this 3-4-3. He needs to have that bit about him to say, it ain't working this season. I know what it is. I'm going to pull it back. We'll do this. Then next season, with a few more players in, we'll get the preseason out of the way, and then we're ready to go. He just won't do it. He won't do it. I want him to work. I don't want to change the manager, but the last few games have been fucking ridiculous. Every player completely out of position. Let's go on to the predictions for the results then, guys. Let's go on to the predictions. And also, just with regards to
the wee song first.
You can sing me a wee song. Of course
I'm the stat man. Here's some stats for you. Some stats. Overall, head-to-head, total competitive matches, Man United versus Leeds, 113 matches. Manchester United wins 50. Leeds wins 26, 37 draws. Man United have scored more goals overall in the fixture than Leeds. Man United 158 goals, Leeds 107 goals. Leeds' biggest win versus Man United was 5-0. You want to have a little guess at the year when that was?
5-0?
Many years. 1930, I'll give it you.
Oh, right, fucking hell. I was thinking like early.
United's biggest win against Leeds was 6-0 in 1959. Leeds' last win in a competitive fixture came on the 3rd of January 2010, beating Manchester United 1-0 in the FA Cup at Old Trafford.
Have you seen Steve's comment, man? This formation is as boring as missionary, Dan. No frills. I love that.
Nothing wrong with missionary, Steve. It gets the job done, my friend. It gets the job.
Yes, but does Amorim. Wahaha's gone 1-0. Thank you for the stats, Kev. Thank you very much. He is funny, good now. He can go to a circus. I don't want a funny guy. We want a leader. So 1-0.
I think we win 3-1 against Leeds. Is my prediction. 3-1.
Why are you drinking?
I just said that's the feel I've got. It was so bad against Wolves, and Leeds have been playing so well. They'll have a shocker. We'll play slightly above average and beat them. Are you drinking
some of that wine from P. Diddy's fucking white parties? Jesus.
Well, I did put some crack in it as well. So that's
fucking hell. Andy goes 1-1. Andy said 1-1. United says we're going to lose this. I can smell it. 2-2 draw for me, says Sophie, or someone sneaks it. Hard to predict a game like this, especially at Ellen Road. Can you smell what the rub is cooking? Chappie's gone 3-1 Leeds.
I'm going to go the opposite way to Chappie. I'm going to go the opposite way.
Anthony says 4-0 United. Amorim goes to a back four just to confuse us.
Even the Sky guys had us as a back four.
It's the wine from wow, you're dark, you are.
No, it's not that. It's just that I've had 6 glasses of it.
Right. Look, I tell you what I'm going to say. Right, I tell you what I'm going to go with. So, I am going If we were to do the 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1, I could see us getting a 2-1 win if we went with the back 4. If we go with this, and to coin the great Jamie Tart, if we go with this Poupée formation, I think Leeds 2-0. And you know my rule, I will never back my club to lose. But the final straw was against Wolves. And do you know something? I'm being serious now, real talk. That breaks my heart saying that about Manchester United against Leeds, against fucking Leeds. That breaks my heart to say that we'll lose this 2-0 if we stick that formation.
I think he plays a back 4. I think he will play a back 4.
I hope he does. And Z, you're right. I dare hammer him to lose to fucking Leeds. I tell you what, you won't know anger like it. If he loses to Leeds, you won't know anger like it. Huh?
12:30.
12:30. Say it, Dan. I'm not saying it, Ben. I can't say it at the moment. I can't. Oh God, no, I can't say it. Kev, I'll ask again. Do you like Bat for Lashes?
What?
What the hell is Bat for Lashes?
Do you like Bat for Lashes? Is that a band?
I don't know, because he's put a laughing face. I'm not sure. Leeds 5-0. Bloody hell. At United. Oh, God. I'm going to have to send you some happy pills in the post. Not those sort of pills. This isn't, again, we're going into P. Diddy territory here. Andy says, question, do you think we can get Neves? Yes. 100% we can get Neves. Do I think we will? No, I don't. Because do you know why? It's an easy signing to do, but United just don't seem to want to do it. Dan, how can these words be spoken? How dare you go wash? Mate, Anthony, I look, there you go. I've slapped myself across the face, but I still think with this foot, that really hurt. But this fucking hell. But the formation just doesn't work with the players that are missing as well. If we'd have had all the players available with this formation, I'd say, do you know what? We've been to Liverpool and do it. Why not? But the players that played it against Wolves weren't right for the formation, and that was
just go back. I mean, how stupid was that? Just go back to what we did against Newcastle. I mean, bloody hell, that's not rocket science, is it? It really is.
It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science, but the manager knows best. Sophie says I wouldn't go for Neves. Been playing at a much lower level for seasons. The Premier. Nah, I think he'd be all right, Soph. I think he would. Kipper Walker says, going to be carnage in my house. I'm Man U fan and Mrs. is a Leeds fan. Jesus Christ, mate. I'd lock yourself in a spare room, mate.
Look with that, Kipper Walker.
Genuinely, I don't see it being the way we want it. But guys, look, that is where we are. Manchester United away at Ellen Road on Sunday, 12:30. Kev and I will be live at 12 o'clock. It's Sunday, okay? It's Sunday. It's a day of rest. But this game is going to be anything but rest for us. It's going to be anything but rest. It could be absolute
what rest?
It could but rest. It but rest. What about you? Sorry, Kev, where can we find you before I let these beautiful people go on? And
I'm in about half an hour at the Plough if anyone wants to join me.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not giving up on the end of this festive period until Sunday night. We're still in it as far as I'm concerned. Over here, I'll be doing back to normal to things over on Kevin 7. I did some videos tonight, but just the festive period. We've been dead busy. Including you in that as well, Dan. We've had some great times over the festive, which has been a first for me for many, many years, as you know. So, I'll be over on Kevin 7 doing my thing. The live streams will start again soon. But yeah, if you're driving past the Plough, anyone, drop in, have a wee milk or a shandy or something, and we can have a sing song.
Not the tequilas we were drinking the other night, eh?
That you forced down our necks.
Guys, enjoy your Friday night. Tomorrow, as you all know, if it isn't match day, it's Mrs. Robinson Day. So I will be with Mrs. Robinson tomorrow. I will be back.
By the way, knows the code for my phone, and somebody went onto my phone and took lots of random pictures and videos at the weekend.
Yeah, I panicked at one of those videos you sent because it nearly
got one very good memory, that Mrs. Robinson.
Mate, she has got an incredible memory. She's got a better memory than Wales, mate. She can remember what I did wrong 7.5 years ago, mate, and she can tell me play for play. But guys, go and enjoy your Friday nights, you beautiful buggers. Thank you very much for the support as always. Make sure you like on the way out. If you're watching this on playback, put your comments in. I'll do my best to get back to them. Other than that, we will see you. Yeah, honestly, mate, we need to talk about this. We will see you 12 o'clock on Sunday for Leeds away. Dan United.
Right, there might be some cardboard cutouts of us just in the chairs.
Dan United, Kev United. Back in.